Yo, check it. This is a very important update. If y'all been staying tuned, I told y'all I would tell y'all the instant Venus actually shows up into the camera angle with Earth. As y'all can see, Earth is to the left and Venus is to the far right on September 18th, 2024. Now you see where Venus is at compared to the Sun, which is to the far right. As I always preach, 2025 is the last year of this reality because everything has to reset once we cross the Sun. As I mentioned in the last update that I called the last sign, Venus is taking a defensive stance in front of the Sun to prevent our ascension. And as y'all can see now, it's moving towards us, meaning we all about to start having some problems. So I made a video called Queen Elizabeth Prevented Our Last Reset some years ago, right? Showing this last camera angle on the NASA website. It shows Venus right beside Earth. This is when they attacked Earth, taking us off course of our reset, meaning we never passed the Sun. The issue with this picture is it actually happened in 2012. Since we went backwards, it reversed time, altering everything, so they had to reprogram the matrix, causing the Mandela effect. Also, why a generation of people didn't really age. Now, this was an article on the NASA website. Near missed the solar storm of July 2012. And ironically, they are making this in July 2014, exactly 2 years later. What are the odds of that? And why would they wait 2 years to mention this? And also note, they said it's one of the most powerful storms in 150 years. So I want y'all to see how they try to confuse you. How can this term be coined in 2009 when it didn't happen? Because he didn't die 2 times yet. The second time he died was in 2013, which is ironic because it is between the gap of 2012 and 2014. So I asked, when was the last time Venus crossed Earth? It says June 2012, and it was the last transit of this 21st century. Ask yourself why they use the word transit, what that sound like to you. Back to this, why is Venus in transit in 2014? Now do y'all see how they be leaving us clues and telling us the truth on what really happened and why the time is altered? As y'all can see, they say the next transit ain't gonna be the 2017, 2025, which is 8 years apart. So they say Venus transit repeats every 243 years, and it comes with gaps of 105 to 120 years with the 2 8-year transits. Remember I told y'all this is when different worlds start around these time periods, but they keep trying to extend their time by preventing our resets. So I just showed y'all Venus beside Earth and the Sun in 2014, again, which is really 2012. Now ask yourself, why is Venus making a transit again towards Earth? And it's nowhere near those dates I previously mentioned. So I said all that to say this. Get mentally prepared for things to come. We all see right now it looks like a comedy show because it's all scripted. But once their scripts starting to get manipulated by real events, it will turn into a horror show if you're not aware of what's happening. As I always say, do not fall for their psyops and always fight for your freedom till the end. Because trust me, you don't want that fate they have destined for you. And this is where your free will comes into play. I'm gonna attach the video I previously made called 400 Years a Slave, explaining the previous 4 worlds and the world we're in now and the worlds we're about to go into. Anyways, y'all know how to keep it. Y'all be gods. Peace. I wasn't gonna say nothing about this, but I got to. 400 years of slavery. I'm not trying to throw shade on any of the creators that uses this phrase, but I have to break this down once and for all on what it really means because people are extremely confused about this. But first, you have to go to my YouTube and watch this video to have a full understanding on what I'm about to say. All my platforms is to the side over here. I'm gonna keep it simple. After Underworld was created, there's a reset of every planet, including Earth, approximately every 100 years. So as I explained before, we are in the 4th world. Every world is a different reality. This is where the 400 years of slavery comes from. Hence, the every 100 years there's a reset. You see the first world right here, when the humans was created, along with the angels, was ruled by Neptune. Then the second world was ruled by Neptune also, which is the second generation, and when the angels started to mate with the human women. So as I said, Neptune ruled these first 2 worlds. You may know Neptune as Adam, Enki, Ea, Apsu, Amon, David, Apostle Paul, or Yahweh. These 2 worlds, there was still a clear distinction between the image of man and the image of a dragon. The angels were still able to cross into heaven and back into the underworld. But the original humans, even though they were still the first generation, they wasn't able to cross over because they was created by the blood. They did not have the consent of the angels yet. Meaning these two humans wasn't really a god race yet, but they are still above the dragons and the serpents. There is no mixed genetics into the third world. This is when Saturn came into power and the war in heaven started. You may know Saturn as Set and Satan, Apostle John, or Solomon. He went on a rampage of mixing with the image of man, creating gods to go against Neptune. This is why we were all blocked off from the universe and placed into a black hole, because there was too much power mixed in with negative energy, which could destroy the whole universe. So we are now in the fourth world, and it is still ruled by Saturn. We can clearly see there's countless different species of mankind inside these human vessels. As I mentioned before, the 7 reptile planets is the 7 princes of hell, 7 continents, 7 main races, and of course, sub-races with the animals that we can't see. But most of us are all inside human vessels. So the next reset is scheduled between 25. Everyone with this original DNA will make it to heaven because we are prisoners of war. We've been held captive here this whole time, since the beginning, 400 years ago. And like I said, it splits off into another bloodline because of the war in heaven with Saturn, because he started mixing the genetics. When you hear about Solomon Temple, this is what they mean back in the third world, when he started creating more. And the Israelites is the second temple of Solomon, Saturn, Satan. He was able to do this because technically he's a part of mankind too, because he's half man and half dragon, the first reptilian. So the second temple started just before the last reset, before World War I. It literally means a war of different worlds, the 7 planets, the 7 different realities. We are still in because we never won. And the third temple they talking about they building is here, the transhuman, to the underworld. I mean, it literally clearly says it right here. Read all of this. All the answers right in your face if you want to accept the truth. So technically, everyone is supposed to worship the first temple, which is the original humans and angels that were fallen into the new generations, the new worlds, the new realities. As I mentioned before, it's specifically the quote-unquote black people in the Americas, and then the black people all around the world. We are the real church. We are the real temples. But they brainwash everyone to destroy the temple, but worship a brick and mortar building that drains everyone's energy as soon as you step inside of it. We gotta wake up and accept the things we clearly see. Anyways, y'all know how I keep it. Y'all be gods. Peace.